And approaching the boxing ring is a man who has been something of a revelation in the course of this tournament. Bair BATLAEV, 25 years of age. He won the European Cup, the WBC European Cup at 51 kilograms, that prestigious multi-nations event in Budva. Here in the round of 32, he scored a first round knockout of a Freddy Alvarado of Bolivia in 58 seconds with a body shot. In ring B, beat Nicky Cummings on his toes.
Please welcome
and then at
his
the
opponent
quarter-final
coming
stage,
into the blue corner,
was faster than a rapid-fire speedster named Fabrice Valery,
CHINYEMBA,
continental medalist from Mauritius. Scored a stunning second-round knockdown with an overhand left. And the man from the blue corner is a tournament #2 seed. Just burnishing that distinctive golden-coloured hair that he dyes around all of his major tournaments. That is 24-year-old Patrick CHINYEMBA, the best boxer on the continent of Africa, the 2024 All-Africa Games gold medalist, the 2022 African Continental Champion, Commonwealth Games bronze in Birmingham. You take a closer look at Bair BATLAEV, part of a 13-strong Russian team. CHINYEMBA, one of 7 Zambian boxers here. And in his quarter-final against Daniel Sabit of Kazakhstan, he went to bout review, but that's because he totally shut down in the second round, and then he won round 3 in typical fashion. And typical fashion for Patrick CHINYEMBA, remembering his first Olympic appearance back in the 2020 Games in 2021 in Tokyo. He's only 24 now, and he's been to the Olympics twice, but he gave Galal Yafai a real close contest when Galal Yafai went on to take gold. But he's a herky-jerky, idiosyncratic type of boxer. He can change direction from right to left in a blink, and it's going to be interesting to see in this battle of speedsters which man's speed will be more effective, because Bair BATLAEV, the southpaw, wearing red for Russia, the man's heels seldom touch a canvas in the bouts where I've commentated on him, always up on his toes, can close the distance in a blink. I've got this vision in my head of him working a ladder drill in the gym and just seeing how quickly he can get his toes up and down, or in a pair of tap dance shoes, because he possesses remarkable foot speed. Patrick CHINYEMBA, the orthodox boxer, although he can switch, wearing blue, possesses tentacle-like reach, and it's going to be interesting to see whether his speed will be able to match or be better than the speedster wearing the red vest of Russians. He just got into range and wasn't too far away with a southpaw two-shot combination. One of CHINYEMBA's strength in his boxing is the ability to go from clockwise to counterclockwise on genius ankles. There's just no diminishing of speed when he changes direction. There's the two men long bridging with the lead hands. And again, because of the speed that the opponent possesses, CHINYEMBA looks for a bolo shot to the body and continuing to target the body with straight shots from the backhand. He sometimes looks unconventional. That's part of his skill set. Trying to unsettle opponents. He'll go for walks around the boxing ring. He'll have a modified Philly shell. You can see how long the man's arms are when he covers up his torso and tucks his chin behind his shoulder. And it's like trying to penetrate a lattice, trying to find a target, but there he did get through with a high left hand to the temple out of the southpaw stance. BATLAEV, and again, there he is, in and out with the feet. Come forward for Ray, but ghosting away on his quick feet is CHINYEMBA. Turns in a bolo shot to the body, disengaging on his ballet-like movements is BATLAEV, and you can see CHINYEMBA able to reach him from a long way away with that backhand. There he turns it into a bolo shot. Spoken to about it straying below the belt. So BATLAEV aware of the pot shot successes that CHINYEMBA has had, and he's going in search of his get back. Nice right jab over the low held left from BATLAEV, and he scores with a left cross to the body. Game of chess in the middle of the boxing ring between two fast twitch fighters. Plenty of support reverberating around the Dubai duty-free tennis arena from the vocal Russian contingent. 10-second clapper has sounded. So what do you prefer in that opening round? There were some pot shot successes in the middle portion of the round for CHINYEMBA, but terrific speed in evidence from both.
There was. It was a really good round to watch because the first half of the round, they kind of swapped turns to have success to the body. It was BATLAEV first, and then CHINYEMBA did exactly the same thing. And then in the second half of the round, they both kind of switched up a little bit. And again, I didn't really feel that either one of them significantly got on top. I think you could go either way with that round, to be honest. When you're looking at a few replays of it there, you mentioned the reach of CHINYEMBA, and when he lets those arms drop down to his waist when he's standing in the ring waiting for instructions, they are very, very long, and he uses them because fighters don't always, do they? Sometimes you see someone with those kinds of tools and they frustrate you. And looking at the scores there, well, BATLAEV's got it with all 5 judges. I'm not arguing with it, but if you're CHINYEMBA, that makes things hard now because you needed something from that first round, I think.
He hasn't won the round for any of the 5 scoring judges, but he's certainly in the round. He's stealing a glance up to some supporter out of the boxing ring. IBA live scoring will mean that he's aware of the context of the contest going into this second round as well. And so Patrick CHINYEMBA, the reigning All-Africa Games gold medalist from the delayed multi-sport event in Accra in Ghana last year, should have been held in 2023. He just conceded the opening round unanimously. And so he's got to try and find a way to get back into this contest. CHINYEMBA was one of a whole cohort of boxers who were around 19, 20 at the time, ahead of the Tokyo Olympic Games. I first came across him at the African Olympic qualifier in Dakar in Senegal when he booked his ticket for his first Olympic Games. That's a stunning right cross from almost the other side of the boxing ring. He just disrupted the boxing stance of Bair BATLAEV, and he's just looking to get on his bike there, that right hand just grazing the neck. But he, part of a cohort of boxers of the same generation who have been invested into significantly, as another right hand gets through from CHINYEMBA. Now he's up on his toes, looking to remain out of reach of BATLAEV, and BATLAEV looking to creep his way in, and his feet are so active. Another right hand success from CHINYEMBA, just catching BATLAEV as he was looking to angle and bend away. And there's that amended version of the Philly shell where he tucks his chin behind his shoulder and covers up with those everlasting limbs, not too far away with that right cross. But again, the significant investment that the Zambian boxing authorities have made to develop the abundance of talent that is down there, well, he, one of the beneficiaries of that. And of course, by making it through to the medal stages, he'll have designs on the final. That's more invaluable funding, hard-earned by the boxer and the coaches, that will go to the federation once again. Both men feinting just on the cusp of range. Both men eagerly awaiting the instruction to box so that they can re-enter the fray. Again, so cautious of making a mistake because they know that it will be counted immediately. Both men just being rendered inaccurate by the movements of the opponent through this passage of the round. Right cross success once again from CHINYEMBA. Hands down posture being adopted now by BATLAEV, but he's continuing to dart around the ring and make his opponent miss. He couldn't escape that right cross, but he got through with a right jab of his own, making it an exchange. Slaps CHINYEMBA with a lead right. Then that darting whiplash jab wasn't too far away. Backhand success for BATLAEV, who's changed his posture, and by in and out with the feet, spinning around the target, he's had real success in the closing stages of that second round with that adaptation on the fly.
He did, he finished the round well there, but for me, CHINYEMBA did a lot of good work in the first half of the round. He landed 5-6 right hands, they all came from the outside, they were all easy to see. And he finished strongly, BATLAEV, and you could see that he felt like he needed to pick it up towards the end there. But I feel like the fighter in blue did enough in the first half of the round to win that round. We'll wait to see what the judges say. But that right hand landed and landed and landed and landed. And in the second half of the round, BATLAEV was full of purpose, but right up until the end there, I didn't feel like he really landed that much.
So will the right hand successes of the man in blue be rewarded? Because I think he had, as you pointed out, Andy, consistent success with it. But all 5 judges have, for the second consecutive round, scored for BATLAEV, so he'll be aware of that, and he's got to go gangbusters here in the third. Perhaps unfortunate not to get a share of either of the two completed rounds, because there's very little between these two boxers after 6 minutes of action.
I think that's poor judging, personally. I think that's poor judging, that second round, because the first round in the balance, if you all go one way, you all go one way. But personally, from what I saw there, I don't see how you could all give that to Red.
So CHINYEMBA needs a massive final 3 minutes here, having conceded both of the opening rounds unanimously, and this will allow BATLAEV to enter bout management mode almost now, because remember, even a knockdown in IBA style boxing, as CHINYEMBA not too far away with the right hand once again, but even a knockdown won't necessarily result in the 10-8 round that he requires to bring about parity by overturning this 2-point deficit. And his 2 points across the board. He had real success with his straight right hand from the shoulder in the second round, just as he did there, not too far away with the second effort, but none of the 5 scoring judges rewarding his successes with that backhand against the Russian southpaw. His speed remains as blistering as ever, BATLAEV, and it's going to be very difficult for CHINYEMBA to get the finishing combo that he needs, because you can see BATLAEV on his toes, on his bike, and it's very difficult to knock out a man who's moving away from you. CHINYEMBA does have that retractable reach, which could perhaps act like a heat seeker and follow him, just as that one attempted to do. But BATLAEV looking busy, doing not very much, but he's keeping the, he's not running, but the motion on the edge of range will keep CHINYEMBA honest and indeed guessing. And we've passed the halfway stage of the round, and CHINYEMBA nowhere near to securing the massive final 3 minutes that he needs. So this is clever boxing from BATLAEV, because he's looking busy, doing not very much, and that's drawing almost a reciprocal response from CHINYEMBA. But remember, the onus is on him to try and turn things around, having conceded both of the first 2 rounds unanimously. So CHINYEMBA atop a wide-legged stance, remaining in search of the finishing shot, and with only 30 seconds remaining, he's going to need a single shot knockout here now. BATLAEV, look at the way he's threatening on the edge of range, just clipping CHINYEMBA with the right hand. Again, that'll keep the referee content in terms of engagement, but it's been a very clever third round of boxing from Bair BATLAEV. Hasn't really engaged, but he's always looked as though he's right in position to engage, and that has kept CHINYEMBA guessing. He hasn't been able to chase after his man recklessly, coming forward behind the right hand, and a complete round of bout management produced by Bair BATLAEV in that final 3 minutes.
It was, but I can't help but think that part of the reason for that is CHINYEMBA knows what the scores are, and he knows that he's up against it. And I felt like what we should have had going into that third round was it teed up beautifully at 1 round apiece. I thought that was a clear round to CHINYEMBA in the second round. It did. The first round, as I said, it was that tight that you can have 5-0 either way, and anything in between, to be honest with you, would have worked for me. But I think that final round, we should have had that teed up at 1 apiece. But I don't want to take anything away from BATLAEV there, because he's boxed well, and in that final round he kind of coasted a bit, didn't he? But sometimes you get that. One fighter's a bit demoralised, the other knows that they're nearly breasting the tape.
Contest via unanimous decision, and heading into the finals in the red corner, representing Russia, Bair BATLAEV.
So Bair BATLAEV, a unanimous point decision victor over the tournament number 2 seed and 2-time Olympian Patrick CHINYEMBA. He goes away with a bronze medal from Dubai 2025 as he continues to assert his credentials as one of the very best boxers in and around his weight in the world. Wonderful accomplishment for him on the global stage. Commonwealth Games bronze in Birmingham, already multiple All-Africa continental gold with the All-Africa Games and African Championships in 2022. The bronze medal doesn't quite match his golden fade, but a piece of championship hardware nonetheless.
Absolutely, and that That's a good 10 days work, isn't it? It is. And he's been at this a long time already. He'll be at it for a lot longer. And sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. And that's just the way it goes. And all you can do is just go in there, do your best and see what happens, because nobody can guarantee anything. And you're in with top fighters when you get to the World Championships, and particularly when you get to the later stages. And that right hand was working well enough for him. Little dip in with the lead foot, pulls that weight back quite well at times. But we will now await the final, where Gusmatov will be up against BATLAEV, and that'll be an interesting watch, that, I think.
Indeed, with the darting speed that BATLAEV possesses, will he